On tonight's North Fulton Prep Rally, the new kids on the block travel to take on a traditional powerhouse as both Johns Creek teams face Centennial. Both Wesleyan teams struggle in non-region play, and we also break down the keys to the weekend. Tonight we're talking all things soccer and getting you ready for the upcoming state playoffs, and it starts right now.
Comcast presents your source for North Fulton High School sports. This is North Fulton Prep Rally.
Hello and welcome to North Fulton Prep Rally, your weekly high school sports show involving all things high school sports from North Fulton. I'm Kirk Rogers and joined by Nathan Shutter year-round on Comcast Channel 25. Catch us here weeknights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Nathan, with a stretch run of region games coming up this week, most North Fulton squads stepped outside the region last week for some very challenging matchups as we get to our keys to the weekend.
Yeah, the Knights blanked the visiting Gladiator. Centennial boys defeat Johns Creek 6-0. A good challenge for both squads moving forward as they get ready for the state playoffs.
And the Wolves fall at home.
Yeah, Wesleyan boys fall to GAC 4-1. Fell behind 3-0 and couldn't quite get back in it against one of the top teams in AA.
The Lady Knights shutout win.
Centennial girls defeat Johns Creek 4-0. Followed that up with a region win over North Forsyth 8-0. Things looking very good over at Centennial for both the boys and girls squad.
Good deal. All right, well, let's get to the highlights. And the Wesleyan Lady Wolves have faced a very difficult schedule this season, and things didn't get any easier when they welcomed the top team in 4A, Whitewater Lady Wildcats. First half, Kenzie Winters passes it to Savannah Jordan. She puts a shot on the net with the overhead volley, but Hannah Duane is able to push the ball out of play. On the ensuing corner kick, Jenny Lovelace sends the ball in. Duane gets a hand on it, but Jordan is there to head the ball into the goal to put Whitewater up 1-0.
13th minute, Tegan Van Guns passes it ahead for Jordan, and she pokes the shot past the keeper for her second of the match. Lady Wildcats up 2-0.
Hannah Duane would be busy in this one. Taylor Marks fires a shot on goal, but Duane is able to come up with a diving stop. Whitewater would strike again in the 35th minute. Jordan passes it off to Kayla Smith, and she beats the keeper to give the Lady Wildcats a 3-0 advantage at the break.
Second half, Whitewater wouldn't waste any time. Opening minute, Van Gunst finds Savannah Jordan. She completes the hat trick. 4-0 Lady Cats.
Less than a minute later, Tegan Van Gunst is left all alone, and she makes them pay with a powerful shot past the keeper to make it 5-0. 51st minute, Marks and Van Gunst will help set up Jordan for her fifth tally of the game as Whitewater takes a commanding 7-0 lead over Wesleyan.
Then in the 73rd minute, Jenny Lovelace dumps it off to Kayla Smith. She chips the shot over the outstretched arms of the keeper to put Whitewater up 9-0.
The Lady Cats can end the game with one more goal. Lovelace sends the corner kick into the box, and Kenzie Winters heads it in for the 10th goal in the contest, and Whitewater gets a win on the road over Wesleyan by final of 10-0. Now, Nathan, what can the Lady Wolves take away from a loss like this?
It's a tough one. When you lose 10-0, the game stopped early. But listen, you're facing one of the top teams in the nation. The number one team in 4A, nationally ranked Whitewater. So much talent on this. A lot of national team talent on this Whitewater squad. So you just have to look past it. You have 3 very important region games coming up. That's what your focus needs to be on right now. You got the game out of the way. Credit them for scheduling a tough team like Whitewater. But now it's time to just move on, focus on the region schedule, because that's all that matters at this point in the season, trying to make the state playoffs.
All right, okay. Well, back to the highlights. And the Wesleyan boys look to be a strong playoff contender in Class A, but would face a tough challenge from the visiting GAC Spartans, the number 3 team in AA. Spartans on the attack. Stephen Bionafe charging down the left side and fires a shot on goal, but Carter Flackbarth is up for the challenge. GAC continuing to pressure. Bionafe causing problems again. This time he centers the pass for a shot, but once again, Flackbarth comes up with a huge save to keep the game scoreless.
Jimmy Stalkey with a long throw into the box. The ball is headed out to Nash Wagnon, and his shot beats the keeper to put GAC up 1-0.
The visitors would strike again 1 minute later. Will Henrica deflects the clearance attempt into the box. The keeper can't clear it, and Max Gomez takes advantage of the open net to give GAC the 2-0 lead. Wesleyan looking to answer. Court Coxhead dribbles his way into the box and fires a shot on net, but Jake Duran is there to make the save.
Back the other way we go. Gomez passes it to Wagnon. His shot goes off 2 posts, and Benefe is there to stick the loose ball into the back of the net. GAC in complete control of 3-0 at the break.
Second half, Wesleyan with a free kick. Eric Sunderman rips a shot around the wall, but Justin Fan comes up with a diving stop to prevent the goal. Wolves keeping the pressure up. Coxhead passes it over to Sunderman. He takes the shot, but the iron is unkind as he hits the post and the ball goes wide.
Wesleyan will break through in the 65th minute. Court Coxhead with a full head of steam, and he unleashes one from the top of the box, and he finds the back of the net for the Wolves' goal, but they still trail 3-1.
GAC would put this one to rest with under 5 minutes to play. Max Gomez using his speed to beat the defender and finishes with a nice touch as GAC holds on to defeat Wesleyan by a final of 4-1. All right, Nathan. So how would you rate Wesleyan's chances in the upcoming state playoffs?
Well, they're definitely a state playoff team, a very good team, especially in single A. GAC is one of the top teams in double A, so no shame in this loss here. I think they play in a very difficult region. Seeding is going to be very important like it always is when it comes to the state playoffs, so they need to try and finish in that top 2 spots, but it's going to be tough to do. Just getting into the state playoffs, they're going to be so battle-tested from the tough teams that they've played this year that they're going to be a very tough out for anyone, so I really like their chances. Anytime Wesleyan is involved in any kind of playoffs in any sport, I like their chances, especially with this soccer team, though. Very talented team.
More highlights now in a non-region matchup with 2 North Fulton squads going head-to-head as the Centennial Lady Knights played host to the Johns Creek Lady Gladiators. Johns Creek travels to Centennial for a tough region matchup. Early on, Centennial is on the attack, but have a huge save from Alyssa Cohan keeps this game knotted up 0-0. Later, Cohan is tested again by senior superstar Jordan Morrell and is able to knock this one down, but just minutes later, Morrell puts it where Cohan can't get it, and the Lady Knights are up 1-0.
Centennial stayed aggressive, and Cohen continued to come up for the Gladiators, stopping Josie Watson right there.
On the other end, Lauren's score puts an end to the Gladiator attack when Megan Froach tries to get Johns Creek on the board, and moments later, Centennial with a free kick that goes from midfield all the way inside the box. Morrell then sets up Willow Peterson, giving Centennial a dominating 3-0 lead.
From there, Centennial defense gave Johns Creek a ton of problems, and Lauren's score continued to dominate on her end of the field as she is going for her 7th shutout of the season.
Off the corner kick, Johns Creek gets 2 shots on goal, but in true fashion, Scorb won't let anything by, and Rachel Doverspike and Megan Froach come up empty-handed once again. In the second half, Froach tries one more time to get the Lady Gladiators on the board, but Scorb with another big save, and after that, Johns Creek wouldn't have a chance to score. Centennial tried to get one more on the board at the end of the game, but to no avail, but the Lady Knights still win 4-0. Okay, Nathan, the Lady Gladiators have already clinched a playoff spot, but what about Centennial?
Yeah, Centennial has a very crucial game coming up on the road at West Forsyth, a must-win. They knock off the Wolverines. They are in the state playoffs. A loss, and they are eliminated due to head-to-head tiebreakers. So a very important but a very winnable game for Centennial. They're playing really well right now. They get the victory at West Forsyth. They are in the state playoffs, and I fully expect that to happen.
Okay. Well, the Johns Creek boys are just one win away from qualifying for the state playoffs, but they stepped out of region this past week to make a trip to the Fortress and take on the Centennial Knights. Johns Creek heads to Centennial and their toughest matchup of the year, and the Knights stayed on the attack all game. And after a quick goal in the first minute of action, the Knights continued to give Nick Hutton fits as he has to try and stop shots from Amin El-Shami, Connor Davis, and Sebastian Guzman.
After a near own goal scare, Centennial has a corner kick that goes inside, and Connor Davis heads it in to give the Knights a 2-0 lead. Boom, right there.
All right, now on the other end, Chris Kubik gets some momentum going for the Gladiators, but Matt Delaney comes out and stops the drive, and Johns Creek would not have a better opportunity for the rest of the game. The Knights' 2 goal scorers, Connor Davis and Sebastian Guzman, each try to get another score for their team, but with no success.
Then in the 36th minute, with a pass from Brahim Gutierrez, Amin El-Shami takes it deep in Gladiator territory and puts it where Hutton can't get it, and the Knights are now up 3-0 going into halftime.
In the second half, off of a Knights throw-in, Connor Davis ends up with the ball, beats his man, goes 2-hole on Hutton, and he's on the board for the second time tonight. Later in the game, Knights are on the horses again, and this time it is MK Sabanda with the goal. The Knights are up 6-0, and that's how this one will end as Centennial shuts down Johns Creek. All right, so Nathan, what does Johns Creek have to do to make the state playoffs for the first time in school history?
To quote Al Davis, just win, baby. They have one region game left against Northwest Whitfield, who is currently 3rd in the region. Johns Creek is 4th. They win that game. They leapfrog Northwest Whitfield into the number 3 spot and the number 3 seed for the state tournament. If they lose, they fall into a tie with South Forsyth, a team that Johns Creek lost to earlier in the season, so they would lose that tiebreaker and be eliminated from the state playoffs. So they have to win against a very tough Northwest Whitfield team, but I have confidence that they can get it done.
All right, well, that will do it this week. Catch us back here on Comcast Channel 25 next week for game highlights and features, and be sure to like North Fulton Prep Rally on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to see what's happening for the show. For Nathan Shutter, I'm Kirk Rogers. Make sure and join us next week, and we'll see you under the lights.
Grab some wood there, bub.